We'll be back from the break. It's exactly 3 minutes past 8, and they're still watching Smart Means Business, your daily Kickstarter. I'm Andrew Barije, and here with Masi Katsumi. And definitely we shall be driving you all the way with quite lots of, amazing conversations, discussions that are coming up. But still, on top of that, I would love to still remind you that the Market to Deserve platform, just a few minutes for them to start being operational. And you could be asking yourself a question, how do I participate into them? It's quite very simple. Start donating to Hash is simply the code for you there, which will avail of the options where I'll be in position to actually buy government bond securities for a fee of just 15,000 Ugandan shillings. Now the markets will be opening at exactly 8:15 a.m. running all the way to 3:15 p.m. That is West African time. Something effective Monday up to Friday, apart from the weekends and the public holidays when those markets cannot be accessed. But despite that, you have the rest of the days to capitalize and make money, something which I believe is quite key and instrumental when it comes to your financial development and growth as an individual. So Zabo made this a reality for you. It's a door open for you. You can actually participate and own bond securities. Isn't that a great opportunity? Online, you don't have to, no paperwork involved. Zabo says my money, my future. Out East Africa tells you, well, you gotta do something new for yourself. Well, at this moment in time, as we getting inspirational, we have our business tips and quotes into the pipeline. But of course, like I normally say, as much as we love getting inspired, you gotta think about something. Not everything you read is actually applicable to you, because I keep on emphasizing this, and I'll keep on emphasizing this for the new viewers probably, that everything that happens, people write most of these quotes depending on their experience. But remember, my experience is not your experience. It's like, let me give an example. If it's like somebody marrying at 40 years, I'm giving an example, and for you 25, okay, and somebody else has married at 23 years, but you're unlucky enough to get advice from somebody who married at 40 years. What kind of advice are they going to tell you? Of course, they'll make you feel like you can't marry early. No, you have to first do this. You have to first do that. But the reason that's why actually we are the steps where we are, vis-a-vis where people are, is simply because of what It's because of what At 45, there are people that are still renting their houses, whereas at 25, there are people that are entering their own houses. What's the difference? Knowledge. What do you know? And when Hosea in the Bible says, people perish not because they don't work hard. No, they perish because they lack knowledge. By the way, even getting knowledge is hard work itself. Hard work without knowledge is like casting pearls to swine. Anyway, that's a deep concept in there, but it's something to really consider. Well, at this point in time, let's get inspired with our tips and quotes. Yes, eliminate temptations and distractions, and something not working. That means you found 1,000 other ways that don't work, but doesn't mean you failed. He said, I have not failed, but I've found 10,000 ways that won't work. Yeah, I think that's the guy that made hundreds of experiments to make the bulb come to pass. But anyway, we've done that so many couple times, but Maybe. Because I believe in every perspective we can have a different angle in terms of how we can approach it. Because I believe knowledge is revelational. You know, I can read something today and what I think about it is totally different from that. It's like if God tells you, the very God that tells you don't kill, gave the Israelites instructions to actually kill. So there's a time he told them, find whatever you find in that land, kill. A child, an animal, or what? So wisdom is key, and wisdom is important. It's like how you tell a child, don't hold a flat iron when they're 3 years old. But if you don't tell them, if they keep with that mindset, they will grow at 15 when they're scared to touch it. But then later on, you'll tell them the reason that's why I told you that don't touch it. It's because you were a kid then and you couldn't tell that this is used for ironing. You could just play with it. You could probably put it in your mouth. That's why it was wisdom to tell you that never touch it. But now you've grown, you know its purpose. I don't think you can play with it because of the wisdom. So I always give that example when I'm trying to bring in that aspect of understanding and wisdom. Then there was something about distractions.
Eliminating distractions.
And was it?
Temptations.
What?
Temptations.
By the way, distractions and temptations. What are temptations in life when it comes to success?
Temptation is in life are maybe it's things that really, I think temptations and distractions.
They're more like the same.
They're more like the same, I must say, because I mean, what tempts you is the one thing that distracts you.
Distracts you. What tempts you? So it starts with tempting you, then it
distracts you.
It gets to distract because you can get tempted but still focused. It's possible.
Yes. Yeah.
But now there is getting tempted and you get distracted.
Yeah.
So
there is being tempted, then you're like you snap out of it.
Yeah.
Then there is being tempted and you allow yourself to be distracted. And of course it has affected us, most of us, in our line of success and of course career.
Yeah.
You have this bunch of friends, they tempt you every now and again, and then the temptation leads to a distraction.
A temptation.
Something you weren't willing for, they're like, oh, let's go out, let's go for maybe a party or something.
Very true.
That is a temptation in itself, saying let's go out. And you were planning maybe to stay home and, research and do more of work-related things. And then once you get there to the party, you're distracted. You forget all about what you were supposed to do.
What you're supposed to do.
Okay, a little bit of fun is good, but then how far can you go with it? Can you set a time frame for that particular type of fun? Okay, so that when time for fun and time for focus.
For focus.
But most of us allow ourselves to be distracted. Someone once told me, I must relate this, and they said, if you want to focus, for now, if you're a young man, if you want to focus, temptations are there. Mostly when it comes to our physical bodies, temptations are there. You are tempted at times. You look at this beautiful, handsome young man, and you're like, wow. But of course, the moment you get into there, automatically
you're gonna be distracted.
Yes, sometimes we forget our weaknesses as people.
Very true.
We forget our weaknesses as people. The moment I get involved with this, I'm done. But of course, that is about it. So if you eliminate those two, you can succeed. But of course, a little bit of fun. Of course, work and no play makes you a dull person. So incorporating fun a little bit and focus.
Fun and focus.
Yes. And of course, I was reading. I loved physics when I was in school. And of course, I loved the theories. There was this thing about the theories, and of course, Albert Einstein being the father of physics, and of course, the quantum physics and mechanics and whatever it is, But
did we study quantum physics?
We didn't. That was all.
That's high. Quantum physics is physics.
It's deep.
It's deep. It's spiritual.
That's deep physics.
It is like spiritual. You can proceed.
Yes, of course. And of course, I read this, and he said he was not talented.
Oh, Albert Einstein.
Yes, he wasn't talented, but he was led by curiosity. So it got me thinking. Most of us, either way, if we were to ask most people, the people don't know their talent whatsoever. But what drives most people to their success is curiosity. Have you realized that?
Yeah, I mean, you want to find out something.
Yes, you want to find out something. And that is what led to Albert Einstein, the father of physics and all that, because he was curious. He wanted to know, how do these particles work? What does this theory do? Can I prove this? Because he knew that is what could get him there. That curiosity part of it. You do not have to have a talent whatsoever. You have to have that trait in you that can lead you.
You don't have the talent, but you have the brain. You can think. You're gifted to think.
Yes. Like they say, why kids actually are more sharp? Because they're curious. They want to know, They want to know every little bit detail, small detail.
Yeah.
Yes, so their brain is active. They want to know. If at all you are struggling with, you think you have you have no talent, trust me, Albert Einstein is here to prove you wrong.
You don't have a talent.
Yes, the people who don't have, honestly. If we actually made
but I think that itself was a talent, the brain, thinking.
Yes,
actually, let me tell you.
But not among the talents we know, like
football, singing. But let me tell you something.
I must say it's his personality.
It's the best talent, I think. I don't care if I don't know how to speak, if I don't know how to sing, I don't know how to play football. I don't care. But if I got the brain like Albert Einstein,
that's enough.
I can make money, wealth.
Yes, I think that is why most successful people, you realize that they don't have any talent. Have you seen the likes of Mark Zuckerberg? But they're just curious young kids trying to know what this does, and eventually they come up with something.
Okay. They're still trying to understand. Oh my goodness, very interesting. As for us, we are busy training for soccer. Somebody was trying to understand if I put this code together, how does it pay back?
Yeah.
And surprisingly, they are wealthier than the talented people.
Yeah.
Albert Einstein. I don't know how much Albert Einstein was worth during his time, but I think if he existed in our times, I'm trying to imagine how wealthy he would be in terms of new sciences, innovations coming out, and so many of that. Just like Tesla. I don't know over that Michael, but it was Tesla. It's the best having the brain. Actually, I think they held part of his brain.
Oh,
Albert Einstein.
Wow.
Yeah, they held part of his brain.
You couldn't part with it. I wouldn't part with it because, man. How can you be there and you think of particles, the way the sunlight hits the dust and it moves up, the Brownian motion thing? How? A sensible person whose IQ is normal, you wouldn't think about that.
I had something about Albert Einstein. He said that he could go. Was it Tesla or Albert Einstein? I'm not sure. One of the two. He had a book where he could sleep by his bed. For him, he had this belief that consciousness, we get inspirations from something somewhere and then another world. So he says he could sleep and he could wake up when he has matter written for him.
Okay.
It's like Newton. Newton's laws we started. His inspirations came from a supernatural conscious. Interesting in a way. It's very interesting in there. Well, for the interest of time, we're actually running out of time. Let's switch to our social media trends. What is really trending out there? All right. Now, Tony Murega. Okay, let's first get back to the first one. This is Zero Braid. That's a very interesting name. Why is Biarugaba behaving like NSF was non-remitting his NSF contribution to NSF? That's a rhyme. Let him now leave the retirement benefits. Gospel he preached.
Yes, he's isn't he of age to retire?
Yeah, he's of age and he has to be given his money, but he's not yet 55, right? I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell how old he is.
I mean, he could look for purpose elsewhere in this last year.
Yeah, he could, could get things out there. This is a Zero Brain saying that. Okay. We proceed to the next one. This is Tony Murega. He says NSF is primarily a social security fund to provide that is a decent payout and financial security to members upon retirement, and not SPV for pooling savings to provide cheap source of financing. Okay. Now the discourse. Okay, this is March 24 TV. Former NSF MD challenges non-renewal of contract in court.
You know, he sued. He sued the minister.
Yeah, the state minister for. This is at Shadrach. This is Shadrach Mutinda. Says the DLP interns have been paid Feb and July 2023. While KRA and SSF are being deducted. Okay, now foreign investors sell KCB shares as NSF buys up. NSF brought a net of 30 million shares in KCB in that June 2023, while foreign investors sold a net of 50.8 million shares. Now this caused the share of foreign. Okay. This is Money Academy. NSF collections nearly triple under new law. And now NSF collects 4 trillion monthly from 1.3 billion. Wait. Collects 4 billion monthly from 1.3. And that's an increasing number. This translates to a projected. Okay. This is at White Shilling, smart move by NSF to scoop up the KCB shares, as Warren Buffett said. Be greedy when they are fearful, and be fearful when they are greedy.
Well, that is NSSF for you right there, as they're giving us on this. Is who owns
Kenya?
Who owns Kenya? And it says NSSF paid out a total of 6.7 Kenyan billion shillings to retirees and beneficiaries in the last financial year ended June. This is the NSSF of Kenya?
Probably.
Okay. Is it called NSSF as well? Okay.
Something to search in for the answer. Okay. Today in Kenya.
Well, I think they're giving us, how NSSF has been performing, and of course in different countries.
Exactly. All right, so that is matters to do with retirement, NSSF.
And of course,
I don't know how far you've gone.
You see, more savers to qualify for mid-term access, 45 years of age. You can now access mid-term.
Mid-term?
Yeah.
45 years.
Yes, for 45
that was
years.
a good provision for that. Otherwise, people are really starving.
Man, people
seriously.
can't wait 55. I'm
55
telling you,
years.
people are counting years. They're not reaching. The years are not reaching. But anyway, because 45 years is actually a reasonable age for some people. They would have saved up.
45.
Most of them actually, that is when they start building up their retirement homes.
Yeah, true.
Or maybe venturing into investing into business. So their retirement as well. So it's a good age. 45.
45.
55. Whew. 10 years.
10 years ahead.
10 years ahead. But anyway, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
But the number of people that are going to get, they're overwhelmingly a lot. I would actually, if I was almost this, I would pick it up.
Okay. Interesting. Well, at this point in time, we get into another discussion here to do with fears of inflation due to World Bank decision. Oh my goodness, people are too scared.
Yes. Do you know, by the way, even before things happen, people have already come up with speculations, and automatically things have to increase.
So why are people weeping? Why are people? It's like,
mindset.
Do you know there is a cry? All people say that there is a. If you cried for them a certain way, they will tell you that, why are you crying for me like that? Am I dead? you will even cause me to die before I cry. I mean, by crying that way. So we are literally announcing our funeral before it happens as a country. Let's calm down. Okay, of course, I can't say things will be the easiest.
Inflation had actually, it was at 3.7.
That's a reduction.
That was a reduction. So definitely people are going to cause it to happen, to rise again because of the fear and
all that.
You know, Ugandans, I don't know, man. When it comes to money, we're scared. Everyone panics. We're in panic
But
mode.
I think it's a worldwide thing. It's non-term.
Yes.
It's a worldwide issue, by the way. Fear of financial insecurity.
No, I just like you said, an example. Imagine you've been having this friend that has been helping you, bailing you out in most things, and then now you're stuck. You're also stuck, and they're saying, you know what, I won't be able to help
because money is stuck
somewhere. Or maybe you
somewhere.
had issues between each other. You had a fight. Well, you have to reconcile, and then maybe the other one you have to go according to their terms, and maybe it's that hard for us as Uganda for now. You know, I can imagine those people that raised up their hands in agreement to the anti-gay law bill, and now like, could this have been the right decision? But it was the best decision. So we have to find means of surviving, like the deputy speaker said.
And it
has already happened. So the way forward is, how do we survive after it has happened? Not looking back at what we shouldn't have done this. No, it's already here.
It's already here.
Yeah.
All right, now with this discussion, we have Honorable Dennis Nyangweso. He's the Member of Parliament. That is Samia Bongwe Central. Let's get into this.
You see, the World Bank intervention in our budgeting process is a 1 year notice that funding will reduce within 1 year to that tune. It's not an immediate reaction. Inflation is caused by a lot of money chasing too few goods, and the prices go up. But in this particular case, we have seen the central bank, through the Ministry of Finance, controlling inflation to almost 3%, 3.9% currently, which has been on for, we have stabilized it at 3.9% for over 3 months. And it has been deliberate. At one time, you realize the ministry, the PSST saying that I cannot release money because I'm trying to control inflation. Too much money chasing too few goods. And that is the science of inflation. It has nothing to do with this pronouncement by the World Bank. What can cause inflation in now is speculation, whereby people are now just speculating by the imminent stopping of funding government of Uganda, which is not the case itself, because it is a 1 year policy where we are expecting a Minister of Finance, the government, to respond, and we discuss the response. As for now, we cannot discuss even speculation, because we don't know which angle we should be able to discuss interventions based on speculation. So until the Minister of Finance comes and says these are the challenges out of a pronouncement of the World Bank, which is itself not real but anticipated, and then we shall start from that angle. But at the moment, we don't see the government has strongly intervened in the market forces of demand and supply, and it is in charge. So until we see the effects of speculation giving way and then creating that shift in prices, that's when we can ask government, put government to task to explain the policy interventions that they are coming with.
Well, at this point in time, Smart Means Business takes a short break, and when we return, we'll try to take a look at what's happening onto the entertainment, business, and sports at the same time. Stick around.